Good evening, Nigeria. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Issues of Voice of the People TV, where we bring you the most important and pressing issues shaping our nation today. I am your host, Jerry El-Rufai, and tonight we'll be diving deep into three major developments in the Nigerian polity. Stay with us as we analyze these critical issues with our expert panel. And this is a conversation you won't want to miss. We begin the show today where Kola Abiola, son of late MKO Abiola, has alleged that President Bola Tinubu initially lobbied the late military ruler Sani Abacha for a political appointment before joining the pro-democracy group Nadeco. According to Kola, Tinubu requested to be made Lagos State Administrator or Commissioner but was rejected. Only after losing out, he claimed did Tinubu align with the June 12 struggle, and Kola described the annulment of his father's 1993 election victory as a collective conspiracy and promised more revelations in an upcoming documentary. And away from that, Vice President Atiku has faulted President Bola Tinubu that Belarusian businessman Alexander Zingman was his schoolmate at Chicago State University. Tinubu made a remark on Monday during the launch of the Renewed Hope Mechanization Program in Abuja, where he referred to Zingman as a very good friend and neighbor during his time at CSU. And furthermore, where the presidency has slammed the former Cardinal Governor El-Rufai over his recent criticism of President Bola Tinubu, labeling him a rabble-rouser and part of a coalition of internally displaced politicians. Presidential aide Daniel Bwala dismissed the opposition alliance El-Rufai is part of, alongside Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar, as a failed venture, calling it dead on arrival. Dig deeper into these topics and more. Don't go away. Welcome back. Let's dive straight into today's discussion. We started off with Kola Abiola, the son of late MKO Abiola, has claimed that President Bola Tinubu only joined the pro-democracy struggle after failing to secure a political appointment from the late military dictator General Sani Abacha. In a resurfaced 2019 interview, Kola stated that Tinubu initially lobbied Abacha to be appointed as a civilian administrator or commissioner in Lagos State, but his request was denied. According to Kola, Tinubu's entry into the Nadeco movement, which opposed Abacha's regime and supported the restoration of the annulled June 12, 1993 election, came only after he was denied political favors. He alleged that Tinubu had competed with a close associate of former Lagos Governor Lateef Jakonde for a commissioner role but lost out, prompting his shift to the opposition. Kola dismissed the many self-proclaimed June 12 activists as opportunists and described the annulment of his father's victory as a collective conspiracy. He hinted at further revelations about Tinubu in an upcoming documentary, suggesting that the popular narrative of Tinubu's early resistance to military regime may not be entirely accurate. All right, today I'm delighted to be joined by two esteemed guests here in the studio. We have Dr. Peter Anosike. Dr. Anosike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He is also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. Great to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, looking sharp. And joining us virtually is Dr. Eric Thomas, a public affairs analyst and a consultant and obstetrician, as well as a gynecologist. Great to have you join us on the issues.
You are welcome, Jerry. Good evening.
All right, I want to start with you, Dr. Eric. Taking a look at the matters arising, it looks like Tinubu's pro-democracy legacy is beginning to witness a lot of challenge in terms of questions being asked. Why now? Why in 2025 Nigerians are not asking? People are not asking. It looks like Tinubu's words against Nigerians and of course history. They are talking about details. Does Kola Abiola's claim undermine Tinubu's legacy as a pro-democracy hero or expose long-suspected political opportunism?
Yeah, the point is that the Abiola song can. If you recollect during the election period, when the campaign period, 2023, when Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu was trying to lobby Nadeko abroad, they actually reminded him that he was not an active member during that election period. And in fact, some of the Nadeko people refused to allow him to talk to them, even when they met them abroad. So that collaborates what Abiola's son is talking about. That is true. Now, the question of why yes, they say that people begin to ask what wood it was made of. About the man is now handling a situation where he says he's a Democrat, but there's nothing democratic about his government. Just for people now to begin to ask questions. This is a man who said is this and this is that. That's why all these things are coming up. Now you can see what is happening now. INEC wants to, they want INEC to be, he's now blocking the all democratic Congress,
Alliance.
have you? Right?
Alliance.
From Alliance, sorry, all democratic alliance.
Yes.
From being registered. Is that democratic? So all these things can, and then the way he even declared state of emergency in Rivers State, where there was no casualty, nothing, and then look at it in Benue, in Borno, and other areas. Hundreds and hundreds of persons have been killed. There's no orderliness. The place is he is not declaring a state of emergency. And even the type of a state of emergency declared here, suspending a governor, democratically elected governor, is that how they declare state of emergency? So when you begin to do all these things, people will now begin, and you claim you're a Democrat, people will now begin to ask questions. I'm just trying to let you know why it is not an issue based on the question you're asking me. Why now? Why not? Because this is the high point of a democratic person or an assumed democratic person behaving undemocratic. People will now begin to ask questions. So it is not surprising that the Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu has lost value. He has no right. I don't want to call him a president. He's Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has lost all respect, lost everything that Nigerians have seen and thought he was, which he claims. They have this propaganda machine, a dark politician, right? He has many things to say. And I am going to tell Nigerians that they have to be careful. Whatever now, they are rolling out machinery of propaganda. How can you guys take people like Rino, take people like Buhala? People like those are the people that are his best friends. When we come to that, we'll talk about that. So going back to your question, it is very clear the reason why all these things are coming up, because the man claims to be a Democrat, but he's an autocratic person.
Okay, definitely. Let me go to Dr. Anoske. If all this is true, what does Tinubu's alleged lobbying for Abacha's favor say about his current moral authority as president?
Well, for me, I told you this. that's on this program yesterday before Konda Abionda came with this. So the only thing is that Nigerians, they stopped teaching history in the school. They stopped it. Even before then, Nigerians don't read. Nigerians don't research. That's why they don't know all this. So I'm coming up with a book titled Abuse of Power, How Democracy Turned into a Tyranny of the Few. And the foreword was written by Ibuchukwu Ezike, who is currently the executive director of CLO. So Ibuchukwu Ezike was among those that Abacha ordered to be executed, and their body fell to the crocodiles in Abuja the night that Abacha died.
Okay.
They were to be executed this morning. Then in the morning, the news came that Abacha is dead. So, and in the foreword, he wrote about 20-page foreword. And he listed how those who fought for this democracy that we are talking about. From beginning to the end, I didn't see Bola Tinubu mentioned there. So Bola Tinubu was not mentioned there. Understand me? So what Koda say that is not strange. Then so and Ishaya Bameyi, who was the chief of army staff under Abacha, said that it was the Yorubas that betrayed MKO Abiola. Understand me? Because instead of supporting on the struggle, they begin to take positions in Abacha's government. You see it?
Yeah.
So, and with that, June 12th, and Abiola was forgotten. They forget all about it. But some people are fond of rewriting history. Understand me? Where other people has fought, they will not come and begin to tell you that they do this, that they do that. I know of one senator from Enugu State. One day that he represented Nsukka, Fidelis Okoro, understand me? When I talk, I mention names because I always make sure that I have my facts.
Yes.
Fidelis Okoro represented the Nsukka senatorial zone, understand me? Between 1999 and 1999 and 2007. Fidokoro one day was coming from Enugu to Nsukka. He went for a friend's birthday party. He was coming around 11 p.m. Robbers attacked him. He was wearing a safari, white safari. They stopped him, attacked him, broke his head. So God was dredged his safari. They collected everything with him. Understand? When he got home, he folded the safari and put in a box. When he went out to campaign, he was telling Nsukka people that it was where he went to fight for them that he was attacked. People believe that story. Everywhere he was going on a campaign, he would just open his briefcase, just bring that safari that was stayed and show them. It was where he was fighting for them that he was attacked. People had sympathy for him and voted him. Meanwhile, it was armed robbers that attacked him.
Well, how come you know the story? Because if a lot of people who believe that story Are they aware now that that was actually what happened?
I've given you his name, Fidelis Okoro. That he represents Nsukka in the Senate between 1999 and 2007.
Wow.
Understand? So and this Ibuchukwu Ezike also come from there.
Okay.
And I schooled in Nsukka too. So it's not that a story that I heard. Fidelis Okoro is somebody who I know one-on-one.
So you're saying this are the styles politicians
So
use?
this is it. Understand me? So Tinubu know that June 12th is a serious issue. So to capitalize on it as an Adeko chieftain, somebody who fought for will give him some element of that he's
Leverage.
a Democrat. You see it. This is what happened because the 2015, those who voted for Buhari did not witness Buhari as a military head of state, 1984 to 1985. So they used the media to confuse them. The Buhari was presented as a superstar. Why those of us who were fortunate to be around then know that this guy doesn't know anything? So the same thing, Tinubu become a later-day Democrat when Abacha failed to give him an appointment. Period.
Okay, let me now go to Dr. Eric. Can Nigeria's democratic history afford to overlook such contradictions in its so-called heroes?
Sir?
Yeah, can Nigeria's democratic history afford to overlook such contradictions in its so-called heroes like Tinubu and so-called and so on and so forth?
No growing nation will ever take fake story as true or fake heroes as heroes. No growing nation, no nation will do that. So just answer your question. Why will Nigeria do? It cannot. You see, all of us are saying this is a man that has nothing that is factual around him. From birth to school, schooling to parentage to even work, everything is just fake. Sometimes when I sit there, I begin to wonder, what is actually, how did this man get here? Now it's after he has finished tricking people and the people will not come back, just like what El-Rufai is doing now. All these things that El-Rufai is talking about, oh, the man is this. Did they not know when he was fighting for him? Now, another joker will come in. In this 2027, they are all thinking of what they are going to bring up as a joker now. Yes. What he is doing now is gathering people like him to be turning the truth on its head. Look at Buela now talking. Buela, I don't even understand whether human beings have shame or conscience. Is Buela in a position to even talk about morality or something of right when he himself is just a pot calling a kettle black? Do you know that he's talking today? He will say A, tomorrow he will say something else. In fact, I don't know why Nigerians are tolerating this kind of people. And obviously, Jerry, I must say again, I blame you journalists. You journalists should be able to sift out these fake elements in our society. Give them a block them out from news, make them irrelevant. But you people keep carrying their news and putting the blame now on journalists. Because if a journalist does not carry Buela's rubbish that he's talking, how will people bother? It sickens me. If Reno talks all he talks and nobody talks about it, wouldn't it be better if Fanika says all this? These are people who say one thing today, they say another tomorrow. We are not teaching the young ones good things. And you see them running around corridors of power, demonstrating wealth, with demonstrating position, and then others want to join them. Please, journalists, stop recording these people. Stop carrying their news. They are worse than ordinary human beings. So if we and you journalists and Nigerians ignore them, this country will grow. But so long as you keep making heroes
Making them
out
relevant.
of them, then you make them look relevant. Then you are not blotting out evil. Please, can you people sit down in your meeting and say, those people who are corrupting the society, who are making Nigeria look as if Nigeria is not, there are no moral people. I must say moral people like me. Yes. If the leader says, when he fell from 0 to 3, he looked this way, I looked at nobody praised. He praised himself. I will praise myself because I had opportunities to be worse than them, make money in illegal way. I said no, my conscience is better, my name is better. You people should not record this rule. And there's no nation that can survive with them. We are getting worse with this kind of people. I'm saying it directly to you journalists.
All right, I think Dr. Eric, I'll take your points very seriously.
Please, people should say it among yourselves. Let me give you an example. When Rio Kosi dealt with one some years back, I can't remember the year now. He probably must have had it. I think he insulted one journalist that asked him a question or something. And journalist said they are not going to carry his news. And that's how the man perished until he died. Nobody knew about Rio Kosi, who was a musician. You can Google me, well, fact check me of what I'm saying. That is what people should be doing with this kind of crop of human beings. What they are doing was not even as bad, as serious as what Rio Kosi did in those days. If people should stop recording them, stop making them relevant. Even if they say they are speaking for presidency, don't carry the news. We don't want to hear evil news.
Wow.
We don't want to hear.
All right. Anyway, definitely point taken. As a student of journalism, I think one of the things they taught us in school was, they said if the dog bites the man, it's not news. But when the man bites the dog, that's when it becomes news. Negative or positive, there's always a balance. But I think I want to take your point of saying, stop giving relevance to those who are not adding value to our democracy. Definitely point taken coming from you, Dr. Eric. But that takes us to the next conversation, where former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has faulted President Bola Tinubu's claim that Belarusian businessman Alexander Zingman was his schoolmate at Chicago State University. Tinubu made a remark on Monday during the launch of the Renewed Hope Mechanization Program in Abuja, where he referred to Zingman as a very good friend and neighbor during his time at the Chicago State University. We'll take a listen from what Tinubu actually said in his own words. And of course, our expert panel is still here. We'll peruse that after taking a listen.
Never did we, Alex, to all of you, Alex was my very good neighbor and went to the same school with me in Chicago. Never did we dreamt that I would be in this position as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Alex will be a successful businessman from Belarus to bring about a very successful collaboration and bilateral relationship that will promote economic prosperity and future of our two countries. Alex, thank you very much for everything. I believe our university will be very, very proud that we are doing this here today.
Okay, he said something very interesting. He said that the university will not believe that today they are doing, that they never dreamt. Was it the word he used? Dreamt? Okay. Okay. However, in a statement issued by, today by Atiku's media office, it described Tinubu's comments as highly questionable. However, in a statement issued Tuesday, Atiku's media office described Tinubu's comments as highly questionable, pointing out that the Zingman would have been too young to attend university at the time Tinubu claimed to have studied there. Atiku also raised fresh concerns over Tinubu's association with Zingman, citing multiple international media reports linking the businessman to questionable transactions in Africa's mining sector and arms trade. Mr. Alex Zingman, a Belarusian businessman whose name features prominently in controversial dealings across Africa, including allegations of arms trafficking and financial improprieties in Zimbabwe and the Democratic Republic of Congo, is listed in various reports as being born in 1966. The statement reads, by the year 1979, when President Tinubu claims to have graduated from CSU, Mr. Zingman would have been only 13 years old. Are we now to believe that the Guinness Book of Records missed the story of a 13-year-old Belarusian prodigy graduating from an American university alongside Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Atiku also challenged the president to explain how he reportedly presented a certificate dated 1970 from Government College Lagos, an institution founded in 1972, to gain admission into Richard Daley College in 1973. He said, and I quote, that Mr. President, Nigerians deserve to know why you have not proudly unveiled a single verifiable classmate from your supposed years in Government College Lagos or Government College Ibadan or Chicago State University the way other leaders do with ease and pride, the statement reads. He also went on to say, President, your oath of office binds you not just to protect our nation, but to honor its truth. The presidency is not a sanctuary for secrets, it is a platform for integrity, and as such, Nigerians await not tales of Alexis from distant lands, but proof, clarity, and the simple dignity of facts. Let me now go to you, Dr. Eric. Mr. President has come out with this recent development, and now that he's been asked questions, would it have not been better let the sleeping dogs lie? What does this say about the integrity of the president when we are now seeing the situation? How can young Nigerians be inspired to pursue integrity and meritocracy when their president can't publicly produce a single verifiable classmate?
I have just mentioned part of this thing now that you just say as a continuation. A man who told you that he started attending a school years before the school was created. What does that tell you? A man that they discovered that his name, when they looked at it, the Chicago of a place, what they saw was a Miss Bola Tinubu, not Mr. And we cannot call that a topographical error. What can a man tell you when he cannot mention to you which primary school he attended? How do you take a man who you don't know who the father is? You don't even know exactly where he comes from. And now, please, I want to ask this question. Is it necessary for somebody, a president, to tell the nation that so person was his classmate? Is it, how significant is that? That shows you that there is something underneath. And somebody, a classmate from a far distance. What about the class? They are asking him, the classmate is in the, he claims even if he's 80 something, he should still have his classmate, at least one classmate. If not classmate, he can have schoolmates. Which old boys school is he attending? A president of a country. And he's coming to tell the whole world that a businessman is his classmate. See how this man is degrading this country because he wants to sell wrong information, propaganda, covering up what is not there. Is it necessary? That is to show you that this man has nothing there. He did not attend anything. He's using this to gaslight. What is the significance of telling somebody that this was your classmate in a national broadcast? Are they in a beer parlor? Even at my level, I cannot sit down as I'm talking to people and say, this is my classmate. That is quite private. Because I'm confident that they know my school, they know where I come, whatever, they have my certificate. People are there to say it for me. But yeah, we have to do something in this country. You can even see for the past 2 years now, corruption is even worse in this country. The young ones are not learning anything. When you talk, they say, what of your president? You can see people telling us now that school is a scam. These are the fallouts. We are now in a dangerous, very dangerous era or generation where they think that bamboozling people and cheating works. Look at they say that light can travel 1,000 miles, but truth will always catch up with it. You see people struggling. If you don't have, in truth, you use one, if you tell one lie, you need 100 explanations to try to debunk it or to prove it, which cannot be proved. And by the time you use another 100, you use 1 million to debunk the 100. So it's not debunkable. So you cannot tell us that something that is happening like this is true. Let me tell you, Jerry, he has already explained to himself that the saga of Chicago University is true. For him to use Chicago University and be talking about his classmates in a national issue like that is very ugly. He's degrading this country. How can he, as a president, be comparing himself with a businessman to start with? He's not even talking of his fellow president. So the Belarus man is standing the same status in Nigeria as he is. I just stop it there because it's so sickly, so disheartening. And the problem is that Nigerians are not talking. They know these things, they are not talking. What is our problem? Why would one man hold us to ransom? This is international disgrace. That's why you go with your passport, with green passport. You will stay, they will shove you aside. A Ghanaian with his black passport will move. A Kenyan will move. Once they have seen the green passport, you're in Nigeria, stay there. They will ignore you. Internationally, that's where we are. For those who are traveling, they will testify to this. And you cannot talk because they are degrading us the more. Look at what the president is talking. Can you imagine a president of America talking serious things and talking about a classmate? Come on. Can we all stand up and rise up and face the facts? And you see people clapping there. What is wrong with us? Are we bewitched as a nation? Oh no. Is that I don't know. I don't know. I'm bitter
I,
about it.
I can see that you're really pained by this. But taking a look at this, if Alexander Zygmunt was only 13 years old in 1979, how credible is the president's claim of being schoolmates at Chicago State University? And what does this say about the integrity of his academic records, Dr. Nasike?
Well, I want to start from what we were discussing
The other time.
before.
Okay.
That's the issue is this. Where Tinubu is in a hole, understand me, is because the economy is not doing well. That's in my book. I wrote about how elections are lost and won. Understand me? And people don't really mind about scandals if the economy is doing well. Understand me? Once they can go to the grocery store, buy something that at a reasonable price, go to the filling station, get it at a reasonable price. Understand me? That everything is okay. They don't mind or the scandals that's of the person in office.
Yeah.
Because they know that angels don't contest elections. So when they go that to vote, that they know that they are not going to vote for angels. Understand me? So where they will begin that to worry about the character of the person in power is if the person in power has reneged on his promises, on his campaigns. The economy is not doing well. People are suffering. That's where they will begin to listen to scandals, and that's where Tinubu is in a fix because in the last 2 years it was from fry pan to fire. So assuming that economy is doing well, nobody should have bothered about all this. Because if you compare what's happening in America, Donald Trump was convicted of 43 counts. Still, they voted for him. Because why? The economy was in a mess under Joe Biden. So the truth is that I'm sure by what Tinubu said on that day, Tinubu has passed 80 years. Understand me? Cognitively, Tinubu is beyond 80. And it's when you are at this stage that you begin to misrepresent facts. Understand? So if you look at him, I look at that at the man, they can never be age mates. Understand? They can never ever be schoolmates.
Is it that the Guinness Book of Records means the 13-year-old junior?
Excuse me, the youngest person that had gone to Virginia University was 14 and entered admission.
At admission level?
Admission was 14.
Okay.
That's West Virginia University.
So how come a 13 years old?
No, so that's why I'm telling you that there's certain age you get to, you begin to misrepresent issues, begin to misrepresent facts.
And the fact that this Zygmunt is known as a
if you see him
so much
or the way he is bowing, you know that he's a fraudster. Understand? The way he's bowing, he said, you know that he's a fraudster. Understand me? Because Tinubu was hyping him. And he was showing appreciation. He wants to be recognized as a friend of the president. So he cannot say no. Understand me? That that the picture that Tinubu is trying to paint is not what it is. Maybe they must have met somewhere, but not as schoolmates.
How come a president is making friends with people with questionable character? This is a man who has been known to be an illegal arms dealer and, of course, going into illegal mining in some parts of Africa in troubled areas. How come the president is on national TV telling the world that this man is my classmate? What does that tell us about our insecurity issues? Because if a man who is involved in insecurity in some troubled part of Africa is now being openly declared as a classmate and even a friend to the president, what does that say about our president?
I say the guy and Tinubu must have met somewhere.
And done business together.
Understand? So, but Tinubu head is representing facts.
So you're saying he was not in the same mind when
and for your brain to be fortunate that you must have passed 80. Understand? So that is it. But he is exposing himself more and more, which is not good for him. Understand me? Which is not really good for him, because one, that's whatever certificate he has presented has been in dispute. I even saw when he used this former governor of Cross River State,
is it Donald Duke?
Donald Duke,
Okay.
as a 12-year-old boy, presented it as himself when he was 12. So this is someone who has started from any fabricating until he gets to the top. Understand? And it worked for him. Understand? Because there are people who didn't do half of what he has done, and they are in prison. Understand me?
You think he's been getting away with it and
With
decided
it,
to continue?
up to the position of the president of the country. So that shows you the kind of a country that we have. And it can only happen in Nigeria, it cannot happen in UK.
All right, let me go to Dr. Eric before I let this rest. If Alexander Zygmunt is your very good friend, as the president said, what message does this send to citizens and global partners about Nigerians' ethical alignment, especially amid arms trade and mining corruption allegations?
Well, let us even say that the man is not an arms dealer or whatever. Let's say he was a genuine businessman. I don't want to take the fact that angels are not politicians or politicians are not angels. Those are in extreme. There is what they call morality. You don't have to be an angel to have basic morals that can be suitable or acceptable in our society as in this planet. Anybody can make mistake. Anybody can do wrong things, but it is the conscience, how you take it at the end, that matters. Please, for goodness sake, leadership still needs integrity. If you don't have look at it, just 2 years they gave this thing to somebody who has no integrity. See how the country has gone haywire. So that's to tell you that for you to be a good leader, you must have some measure of integrity, sincerity, compassion. There must be moral compass guiding you in whatever you are doing and saying. A man who has no morality, no integrity, does things anyhow, just like what this man is doing. He gathers many things just to prove. Now, coming to the fact that this man, that is his friend, is even a questionable character, international questionable character. Can any man with morality, with shame, with integrity, with honor associate with such persons? No. Even if you do, it will be very private. But now he's making it open, making it a world making it world news. It just tells you that they say birds of the same feather do what? They flock together. The man who is indirectly vindicating what Nigerians think about him. They call him all sort of things. That is why he's just telling you that a friend like that, his friend was doing that. The Guinea issue, the drug issue, the this, all that, all those things. Why will a president associate himself openly with a man who is so dubious? That is because he sees nothing wrong about it because he is one of it.
Wow. Okay. And of course, even questions have been asked when he also commended, talking about Yaya Bello, the man who's been investigated by the FCC on his 50th birthday, coming from the presidency. And of course, that will not permit us to talk also about El-Rufai, who called Tinubu's presidency a tragedy and evil that must be removed for Nigerian survival. And of course, he has also gotten a backlash from the presidency, who has labeled him alongside his coalition partners as this internally displaced politicians. Okay, time really fast spent. Dr. Eric, thank you for being a part of the issues this evening. It's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you.
All right, have a great one. Because Dr. Anosike, it's also a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, it's a pleasure as well. And from all of us, that's a wrap for tonight's episode of the Issues on Voice of the People TV. We hope you stay engaged and informed. Remember, your voice matters, and stay involved and keep the conversation going. I am Jerry El-Rufai, and this has been the Issues on Voice of the People TV. Good night, Nigeria.